Part 2. You will hear the manager of Hilltown Museum talking to a group of people who are interested in volunteering. First, you have some time to look at the first group of questions. Now listen carefully and answer the first group of questions.
Thank you all for coming along to this introductory evening for new volunteers at Hilltown Museum. We're very grateful that so many of you have decided to give up some of your free time to volunteer at the museum. First, let me explain why we currently need to expand our team of volunteers. It's not so much that we're getting more visitors than we used to. In fact, numbers have stayed fairly stable. And we already have a good group of volunteers working with us. No one's left that team for years. But we urgently need more people because we plan to start laying on a bigger programme of events for both adults and school kids. Volunteers always say they love it here. People generally like the idea of welcoming visitors from all corners of the globe. But what seems to be valued more highly than anything else is the chance to work with a small group of friendly people. Of course, volunteering here means you also get to know more about the history of your local area, and that's a plus for many people. So, the plan for this introductory evening is that I'll tell you a little about the museum, and then we'll watch a video of one of our volunteers talking about what it's like to work here. When you completed the registration form for this event, you were asked to write down any questions you had, so I'll deal with all of those. Then I'll take you on an extended guided tour of the building. OK? The museum was founded nearly 200 years ago by Robert Brigham, whose family had made their fortune in this town. He grew up here, in what used to be his family home, but when he moved to the countryside, instead of selling this house, he wanted to find a useful purpose for it. We know from his diaries he'd always enjoyed history at school, and that's what gave him the idea for a museum. He donated a lot of objects from his family home to get things started. Robert Brigham was proud of his museum, and we are too. Today we work very closely with colleagues in similar institutions in other countries, and we take special pride in those connections. Since the museum was founded, it's grown enormously, and we're constantly acquiring new exhibits and devising new and exciting ways to display them. We're always working on new projects to extend the scope of our work. We've recently finished recording a video tour, which we've just uploaded to our website. And last year, we organised a wonderful project where we collected memories about life in the past from local residents. We're in the middle of getting together an exhibition relating to our town, showing the way it's been depicted in a couple of famous novels. It's proving a fascinating task. It's a good idea to do some preparation at home before you start work as a volunteer. So what can you do after the session this evening to prepare for volunteering here? I strongly recommend that you familiarise yourselves with all the stuff on the museum's website. And you can actually read it all in several different languages if you want to practice your French, Spanish, Arabic, Russian or Mandarin skills at the same time. We've got lots of fascinating information about all the exhibits, and we're hoping to add a new section on local industry there at some stage.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at the second group of questions. Now listen and answer the second group of questions.
So what kinds of tasks do we need volunteers for? Our permanent staff take on the role of tour guides, so you won't need to get involved with that. They're also in charge of dealing with queries at the information desk. But volunteers are required to help with ticket sales. Many of our volunteers have a background in the arts or education, and we encourage all of you to share any thoughts you have on interesting things for our visitors to do. Work in the cafe is actually organised by a separate company rather than us, so you wouldn't be working there. The museum is divided into sections, and it'd be useful for you to find out as much as possible about these, particularly the parts that are most popular. The room with musical instruments is my own particular favourite, but it's the one with medical equipment that tends to attract most interest. You'll find that next to the children's toy area. The section that's second favourite with tourists is the room with dresses and other clothing from the past. We have one of the largest collections of pots and pans and other kitchen stuff, but that's less of an attraction for some people. I'm sure you'll enjoy volunteering here. Apart from anything else, we offer you a number of benefits. For example, any tea and coffee that you get from the cafeteria during your shift will be free of charge. You can join the popular Local History Association at a reduced rate. And we also offer you a substantial discount on our normal parking charges. Members of your family will be welcome to visit our museum at no charge, and you'll be able to get tickets for other museums in the town at a reduced price. So, any questions?
That is the end of Part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to Part 2.